Hello everyone. Sorry about the hat again. I really wanted to wear a Trump hat, and I know it looks stupid with the tape and everything, but it's not too bad. Alright, so I'm going to be answering a question here by Trevor Martin on YouTube. He said, "What's so scary about death to you?" Scary is a subjective judgment of experience. You could just judge death as whatever or meh instead of scary, and all your problems would go away. Well, if I reacted to death as whatever or meh, I don't feel like I'd be on it. That wouldn't be an honest reaction. Okay? I'm scared of death because when I look at it honestly, it is scary. What could be more scary than death?
I'm scared. I'm always scared.
Okay? You'd be rotting in the ground if you died, or you'd be, it's horrible. The idea of my consciousness ceasing to exist, that is terrifying. Why wouldn't you be terrified of that? Okay? Your consciousness, it's all we have, is our consciousness, our existence. And if you lose that, you lose everything, and you're basically, I would call you, you've lost everything. You're a loser, by definition, because you're lost everything.
Cry? I don't want to die when I'm 100.
It's the ultimate loss. Death. It's what we need to avoid. To have fun forever. And so, your question is weird because you say, well, you can just judge death as whatever or meh, and then all your problems would go away. But I cannot judge death as being meh or whatever, because that's not real. Death is a problem, okay? And if you're honest with yourself, you'd admit that to yourself. Death is not just any problem, it's the biggest problem. And that's why we need to cure aging as soon as possible. We need to be living as healthily as possible. And, oh, look at that tape. It's so stupid looking. That's ridiculous. I need to get myself a better Trump hat, don't you think? See, this is my roommate's hat. But I don't want to just wear his hat. Then I'd just be a copycat. But anyways, hope that answered your question. Death is scary. Death is something we should fear, because it's the worst thing that could ever happen to you. Be honest with yourself. If you're honest with yourself, you're going to just look at death for what it is. It's horrible. It's the worst thing ever. Hello. Duh. This is not rocket science. Go to a cemetery. Go on this channel and look at some of my cemetery talks where I'm in a cemetery and I'm reflecting on death right there in the moment and just, ugh, how horrible it is. Life. I'm into eternal life because life is so good. Fearing death is really the same thing as being in love with life. They're one and the same. I'm in love with life. I'm in love with just living and staying alive. It's a survival instinct. And if you have that survival instinct, you're going to be afraid of death. Because fear is the emotion of survival. It's that fear that's going to help us survive. It's that fear that's going to drive us to being a perfectionist. Like practically perfect. Like Mary Poppins. Like Tinkerbell. These people are perfectionists. These people are not just content with being ordinary. They're not just content with going down that mediocre path that ultimately leads to death. Because eternal life is something that's so hard, if you're honest. It's not an easy goal. It's so hard that you realize in order to succeed at this, you need to be extremely serious. You need to be on some kind of obsession level where it's like you're bringing it to a very high level, where you've thought about your strategy, where you're obsessing about the details, where you're being very calculated, cautious, because living forever, it's such a hard goal that, and it's so long that a lot of things go wrong, right? There's like 1,000 different ways to die. More than 1,000. There's millions of ways to die. I mean, come on. So, if you want to avoid all of those causes of death, you need to be extremely cautious. And you need to be serious about it. That's what I've been telling people.
Harlow she's very Joel. She's very careful. You can see every thought that she thinks before she actually does something. She's very timid and shy, and she's very careful.
Is that you cannot take this lightly. This is your eternal life. You got to give it the attention and focus and dedication that it deserves. Right? I mean, think about it. Trump. If we're voting for Trump, if you're a supporter of Trump, you should be giving it a lot of attention right now to make sure Trump wins. That's what I'm trying to do. But living forever, think about how much more of an important goal that is than having Trump be president. It's so much more important that we should be giving eternal life like everything. It's so important. And Trump is, of course, obviously super important. He needs to win too. And the whole reason I'm voting for Trump in the first place is because I think Trump's going to help me live forever. I wouldn't even care about this issue about Trump if I didn't think it was going to affect my eternal life, my ability to live forever. My supporting Trump is directly related to my need to live forever. It's part of my eternal life strategy, is voting for Trump. It's literally, I feel like that is what I need to do to live forever, is to have Trump be president. So I'm trying to shape the world in a way that's going to help me live forever. Anyways, I'm getting distracted and off topic. Thank you for the question. Let's do it. Living forever is possible. Vote for Trump, 2016. Let's make him win. Let's make America great again. And ultimately, let's make America live forever. And I do believe that's possible. You know, we live in a very exciting time now where technology is advancing super rapidly. And we need to live to that point in the future when aging is going to be cured and we can live indefinitely forever into the future. And at that point, we're just going to need to continually shape the world into a utopia that's safe as possible. You know, we're going to be creating a world like an ultra safe utopia. That's what I envision for the future. And Trump is just the start of this. But we need to shape the government, shape the entire world in a way that's going to give us the benefits as far as increasing our odds of living forever. Okay? So that's it. Thank you very much.